Hey, what's going on, man? This is Coach Tex, DFW Penguin basketball, man. Today, I'm going to talk about an important topic that a lot of guys go through as a player, but a lot of kids don't know how to handle is when your assistant coach or the first assistant coach on your high school team or whatever is really the head coach. What do I mean by that? A lot of guys, especially in high school basketball or high school sports, they get appointed to jobs that they're not really qualified for, but they get the job because they've been there so long and they attempt to get the job. It's kind of like, you think about like guys in the military, right? It's not constant war going on to where guys can do things to get moved up in higher positions in the military. Like get certain stripes and then you move up, because it's not constant war to where you can build that, right? It's not constant things going on where you can build that. Most people that are in the military that are in high rank, they're not there because of accomplishments. They're there because of the time that they put in and how long they've been there and experience. So like I said, a lot of times these coaches, they get head coaching jobs, but they aren't really as talented as their assistant coaches that may be more passionate about it and things of that nature. For example, just to say that you got a coach that's let's say he's been a ninth grade coach for 10 years, right? The head coach leaves. They say, hey, you want the JV job? We're bringing another guy. Oh, okay. They bring another guy. He's a JV guy or assistant head coach, right? For 5 more years, right? Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we can't find anybody that wants this job. Or, hey, Bob, you've been here for 15, 16 years coaching. Why don't you try out to be the head job? Oh, yeah, I mean, that's the natural thing for me to do, even though I know I'm not really that good at it and I'm not really that passionate about it, but I like coaching. He tries out, gets the job. Now he's the head coach. He doesn't plan on leaving your school anytime soon. He's definitely not going to step down because of the pay raise, right? So he stays there and he's the head coach for 20 more years. So he's been there 35 years. Nobody's going to fire your coach at your varsity head coach. So now he's bringing in other guys a lot of times because he knows he's not a really good coach that are better than him. And he knows that these guys are better than him. But at the same time, he has to keep authority because he's the head coach, right? So if I'm a kid on the team and our head coach, I know he's not really good at certain situations, drawing up stuff, and the assistant coach is doing most of the work, how am I going to handle it? How am I going to get points with the head coach when the assistant coach is making all the decisions? Simple. Develop a good relationship with the assistant coach, but at the same time, it gets a little tricky. You still have to follow what the head coach wants you to do. Sometimes the stuff may be conflicting. A lot of times it won't. Okay, it just depends on the relationship between the head coach, and the first assistant coach. So, first thing, okay, I'm gonna talk about 3 quick things. You always obey the head coach, no matter how bad he is, how bad his instruction may be, how much control the assistant coach may have over the program. Whatever the head coach says at the end of the day goes. So let's say your assistant coach says, hey, I want you to shoot the ball more in this situation. You wide open in the corner, I want you to jack it. You can shoot it, right? Your head coach comes in there, you miss a couple of shots. He says, hey, man, stop shooting that damn ball in the corner. That's not your shot. It can be confusing, right? This is when you go and you go and say, after practice, hey, coach, I know you told me not to shoot that shot, but I've been working on it. And assistant coach Bobby said that I should shoot that more. Is it okay? I know I missed a bunch today, but is that okay? Now, if he says, no, I don't give a shit what Coach Bobby says, then you need to listen to the head coach. And I know that stinks. But then sometimes you can go and talk to the assistant coach and he'll go and say something to the head coach and then it can modify it. But just remember, at the end of the day, your head coach, what he says always goes. Okay? Number two, when you're trying to get more playing time or more minutes or whatever, always ask the head coach, the assistant coach, especially the assistant coach that's the head coach, what is the head coach looking for? What do I need to do to get more playing time or get more situations for myself or get more shots? What does he not like that I'm doing wrong? Okay? Just asking him, a lot of times he will tell you. Okay? Now, guys, having a situation like this as a player is really, really weird. Okay? Because a lot of this stuff is determined by the assistant coach's personality. If he's a laid-back guy, a lot of this stuff may work. If he's a dominant alpha male type assistant coach, he may get into conflicts with the head coach on different opinions and stuff that he may tell players, and it gets weird. You got to work on how to balance it, but I'm just telling you at the end of the day, what the head coach says goes. And you don't want to get yourself in too much of a bind to where you're going back and forth in between. Oh, well, head coach Johnson told me to do this. Oh, assistant coach Bobby. Assistant coach Bobby told me to do this. You don't want to keep doing that. You want to kind of re-engage where they are. And a lot of times, the best thing to do when there's a conflict is to talk to them both about a situation in front of each other so they can't tell you conflicting things. Right? Just like the shot situation. Let's say I've been working on my corner three-pointer. I'm a guard, and that's my thing. I hit corner three-pointers. And assistant coach is telling me I need to shoot more. And then in practice, or in a game, I'm missing a lot of them. And the head coach, yo, stop shooting all those threes in the corner. And you sitting around like, yo, like, what am I supposed to do? Make sure you get them together and then ask, hey, coach, assistant coach was telling me this head coach. He was telling me to shoot more. Like, what should I do? Like, I'm trying to figure it out because I've been working on this, blah, blah, blah. You got to go about it the right way and then go from there. Now, when you have a head coach that is really more of an assistant coach, that's more of a dominant assistant coach, okay, you have to keep constant communication with him and make sure things on the right page. Because a lot of times, like I said, when you have a head coach that's not really fully engaged with it and he just kind of calls shots every now and then, he's not, he just kind of lets the assistant coach do everything. You got to keep constant communication with the assistant coach because doing that is going to keep you ahead of the game. Okay, even when you're not in this situation, keeping good contact and good rapport with the assistant head coach or your varsity squad or whatever it is, or the dominant assistant coach, it's always good because he's going to always give you information on what the head coach is thinking and things like this. Guys, I've been on teams where the head coach does not make subs. Listen to me. I have been on teams, basketball teams in college, all of that, where the head coach just calls out plays. That's it. I've been on teams or coached in situations where the head coach does not call out of bounds plays. So you guys may think like, oh, he's an assistant coach. Guys, this stuff happens. So I've been in situations where like I'm like giving, you sitting on the bench, and you giving your assistant, you giving the head coach that hey, I want to get in. Like, you looking for somebody to get in? Oh, put me in, coach. I'm looking at the head coach. He's not making the subs. The assistant coach sitting right next to me is a guy telling people to go in. Oh, he's telling the head coach, hey, put Tex in. Tex and guard that. Hey, we need some shots from Tex. Put him in. Or you may not even see it, and they have some type of code like, hey, or he might get up and say something, hey, you might want to put Tex in right now. And the head coach will be like, all right, Tex, go in. Like, what? Like, you the head coach. You supposed to be making these decisions. I've coached. I remember it's a good strategy to where I was coaching at a small school in West Texas. And the head coach, this is my first coaching job. The head coach was real big on his plays and schemes that he ran. Like, he didn't want anybody to know his plays, even though, like, if guys scouted, they scouted. It is what it is. But it was the coolest thing ever that our head coach would call out a play with his hand, right? Because he didn't, you know, some coaches are really big on film and people learning their stuff, right? Which I always feel they're like, you can know all my stuff, but if I have enough threads in it and I got good players, you can know it all you want to, but we'll figure it out. Like you can't stop every single thing. And a lot of players, they don't even know their own plays for their own team. So how the hell are you gonna learn my plays within 2 days of scouting us and watching an hour of film? But anyway, that's beyond the point. The head coach would call out a play here, right? And the assistant coach would sit on the bench and he would give a certain signal from his left hand. He would have his hands down by his crotch. And the person taking the ball out, everybody would look at the assistant coach and he would have his hand down. He might go here. He might do this. He might go here. He might go sideways. So on the film, the head coach would be calling out something random, you know, but everybody's looking at the assistant coach. I thought that was cool, but I'm just saying that in a phrase of the head coach. When you have an assistant coach that's really the head coach, it can become a really weird situation for you, but you got to know how to handle it. And when there's conflict, you got to know not to talk to 1 and 2 by themselves a lot of times. If you really want to resolve it, try to get them both together or meet with them and talk to them and both of them together so they can bounce it off each other and come together with a decision and tell you what you need to do, right? So keeping good communication, let's go over it again. The head coach, okay, always obey the head coach. He's the end-all, be-all, okay? Even though the assistant coach may do a lot of the stuff and run a lot of things, if the head coach tells you something that's opposite from the assistant coach, you do what the head coach does. 2, ask the assistant coach what the head coach is looking for. If you need more playing time, you want more shots. If you're not playing effectively, what is he thinking? The assistant coach a lot of times, especially if he's a passive guy, he's gonna tell you and try to help you out. Okay. And the third thing, you got to keep, if the assistant coach is like a dominant assistant coach and he really runs everything, and the head coach just kind of sits over there and chills out and lets the assistant coach do everything, then you have to keep constant communication with the assistant coach, especially if you know that he's making the subs, because he's going to be more important to your playing time and you thriving on the team more than the head coach a lot of times. All right? So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you guys know of anyone that my information can help out, let me know. Not let me know. Let them know about me. And if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment, subscribe, like the videos, all that good stuff, man. I'll see y'all later, man.